Hello, thanks for watching. I don't know what's gonna happen, but who cares? Anyway, I received some comments that the quality of the videos aren't really very good due to the fact that my webcam is probably pretty crappy. So I'm gonna try to invest in a better webcam because, there's definitely something to be said for a quality video, even if it has to do with pointing to the sweet nothing that we are. It's all relevant stuff. So anyway, I don't know, we could prattle on about how this is it and all that other stuff. I don't know, I've been inspired to try to come up with some sort of joke. So my friend Katie, she started me off with the classic screwing in of a light bulb idea. So here's a little taster. I don't know how good it is, but so how many non-dualists does it take to screw in a light bulb? Four. One to negate the light bulb and anyone to screw it in. One to claim that he is the light through which the bulb is illumined. One to sit in the corner and smile knowingly, indicating that he's beyond the whole debate. One to claim that there's no doer to screw in the light bulb or no screwer to screw in the light bulb, but screwing it in may happen. And one to begrudgingly walk up and screw in the light bulb and then sit down and continue doing self inquiry. So, non dualists aren't really very good at getting things done, but thankfully there aren't any non dualists. There is only the oneness anyway. So I don't know, the joke isn't very funny, but it points to, to what can happen in terms of taking this on board as something, right? I'm a non-dualist, and therefore I act in a non-dual way. And but of course, as the joke indicates, no one can even agree on what non-duality is if they take themselves to be that. So the one guy who's the non-doer non-dualist, and the other guy who's the one who is the light, and the other guy who negates everything, the other guy who thinks he's got it because of his silence, and the guy who's sort of beyond it all and can act in the world but still believes that he needs to do something to become more non-dual or whatever. So this whole thing is a big trap. All of this stuff, it's crazy. The whole thing is just riddled with insanity because I took myself to be a non-dualist essentially, someone who is non-dual. I'm a person who sees that they're beyond this personhood, and therefore I'm oneness and you're not. I am the oneness, you are not. I'm no self, you are a self, and da da da. You fill in the blanks with any number of opposites, and it just becomes crazier and crazier. So that's why, in the way I share it, I want to just cut through everything right now. It's not like I do that. It's just oneness can cut through and see that there's only itself, rather than having to get bogged down in concepts and non-concepts. So this is simple stuff. It's not stuff really, but and it's beyond simplicity. It's prior to even simplicity. It's just here as this. I mean, right now, if we look, we can see that all there is what's going on in what we are, as what we are, arising in and as the being of aliveness that we are. So if I need to screw in a light bulb, it just happens right now. I don't have to run a mantra about non-duality to screw in a damn light bulb, or I can just pick up the phone and call an electrician or something. See, all that stuff is just a big overlay that doesn't actually do anything. So, no matter what stance we take, if I take the stance that I'm the light or I'm the non-doer, it's all just a stance in falsities. It's building your house on the quicksand in an attempt to pretend essentially that I got it. That's really what it says. That's what I was saying. Or I don't got it, and that makes me special. Either or. This sense of specialness, or even being so not special that I stand out and be special. And again, I apologize for the quality of these videos. I can see what people are talking about. But I hope that the message is still clear in a sense. The message isn't really clear per se, but what we are, the clarity that we are, is self-evidently clear. And the words, nah, just forget it. The messenger and the message have to self-destruct for this to be of any value, really. Not that I have to off myself, but the validity of the messenger has to be obsolete right now, in a sense. So the validity that listening to this guy or any other guy that we find on YouTube or whatever has to be seen for what it is, just a little point, and then forget about it. Just forget about the messenger and the teacher that seems so important, and that pointer that was so useful and necessary. Because as soon as you see what you are, which is here now anyway, then everything is rendered obsolete. Not that it's bad or wrong, but that it's not necessary to hang on to anymore. When you see that the kingdom of heaven is within you and all around you, and is you, then you don't need to stand on the doormat and you don't need to keep reading the menu because you're already eating. You don't need to fantasize about the lover because you see that you've never left his or her arms. You don't need to keep reading the books because you see that you are what the books are talking about. So this is craziness. Or rather, this is an attempt to point to sanity in the midst of craziness. The world does, I don't know, the world does what it does. And this is part of the functionality of the world. This message isn't trying to save the world or anything like that. But seeing this, you could say in a sort of poetic way that seeing that I am the world saves me and the world. In a sense. That's kind of bizarre. But seeing that there's only oneness, there's no longer a self here that's making war on the world, and no longer a separate world that can threaten a self. So it is, in a sense, it's like that. So if more and more people in the world come back to see what they are, the world likely will look a lot better. But I mean, then it sounds like the non-dual missionary, right? Maybe that's a better joke. I don't know how to put it. The non-dual missionary, competing with all the other religious factions. But of course, it just becomes the same thing. I don't know how to make that into a joke. The whole thing's a joke anyway, so to try to isolate a single joke is actually kind of redundant. The whole idea that there's someone to sell this and someone to receive it, and that there's a need for anything to happen. See, this is why it's not like the missionary type thing, because missionaries essentially say, this is how it should be. And there's an imposition. I'm imposing something as a missionary. If the non-duality message is clear, it won't involve any obligation or sense of imposing anything. And that's why it's powerful. Because it's not attempting to resist anything. It's not attempting to fight with anything. Because the clarity of being right now is that there isn't actually anything else. So it renders the entire modality of religion and spiritual paths and obligation and all that stuff. It renders it obsolete because there isn't that separation between the listener and the speaker. And that's why this can have some power, because of its innocence. In a sense. Yeah. Ooh, this is crazy. Words become very crazy when it's seen that they just appear and disappear. Or rather, they can be seen for what they are. It's not that they're crazy. But the believing in language is seen to be crazy. Believing that these words are real is seen to be just lunacy. Is seen to be, All the non-dual speak, Yeah, we could just say I. It doesn't matter. I see that language is just craziness, if we believe it. This awareness is the sanity right here, because it doesn't move. So how could it create any trouble? It just is here. So thanks so much for watching, and I'll try to improve the webcam. Thank you.